Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I plan on giving my first review ever, and that's on Ark Survival Evolved for console. Even though I have the PC version, I barely touched that one, so I'm going to focus on the console version here in 2020. So first off, the first category I'm going to cover about 5 categories. Each category has 2 different sections. So the first category is art style and graphics. The next category is gameplay and controls. The category after that is story and purpose. And then the category after that is sound and music. And the last category is bugs and performance. So to get into this, let's start with art style and graphics. So the art style for the world in Dinos is good for what it is. The graphics depend on your console or your PC or how powerful it is. So if let's say the base PS4 version is a little fuzzy and dull looking with a lack of vibrant colors and ambient lighting. On the Pro and the Xbox One X, it does have a nice graphical upgrade to where it's not fuzzy anymore and it actually looks a little sharper. The ambient lighting looks much better. It could just be a placebo effect, but to me it actually looks and runs better because I played the crap out of it on the base PS4 and it did not look or run very well. Now, just a refresher, at the end of each section I'm going to have a good and bad, just as like a sum up. So in the art style graphics department, the good sum up is if you have a Pro or an X, the upgrade makes this game an absolute joy to look at. Dinos look great, the world looks vibrant and alive, and it has great lighting based on the time of day. Bad. If you have a base PS4 or Xbox One or a low-powered PC, the game could look really fuzzy and washed out or not run very well. So the score out of 2 in each section, this gets about a 1.5 for me. On to the next section. Gameplay and controls. The gameplay needs work. Combat feels clunky and weird, kind of like you're in a Minecraft character. Like when you get hit, you just kind of like bounce, your whole body bounces, and it looks really weird, and it can feel odd and hard to control. Catching dinos can be insanely difficult unless you plan ahead or use cheats, of course. The menus are very clunky on console, and it's sure to use on console because it was designed for a mouse and keyboard, obviously. But the building, the exploring, the riding of dinos, and the way the controls and buttons are mapped on the controller, in my opinion, are very well put. They're very well mapped out on the controller. So in other words, everything is at your fingertips. Like if you want to build something real fast, you can do that. If you want to switch to a weapon real fast, you can do that. The creature is right there right away. Like if you want to mount the creature, you want to feed him. All that is like right there. So now let's sum up the good and the bad for gameplay and controls. The good has great button layout for exploring, building, or riding your dinos. The bad, clunky combat, and a cumbersome menu system. 1 out of 2 in this section. Now, on to the next section, story and purpose. The game's story is not told in like a traditional sense of story cutscenes or text bubbles or anything like that. You have to go out of your way to seek the backstory of this game through explorer notes that are hidden out throughout the main 5 maps. The official 5 maps, I should say. And if you don't really read them all or get them all, you don't have no idea what's going on. But your purpose in this game is a very simple one. Survive. This is where the heart of the game is. You spawn in the map with a created cave person wearing only your underwear, and you have no items, no weapons, no nothing. There's no tutorial, there's no direction. Then you start pushing buttons and learn like you're a baby talking your taking your first steps in a very unforgiving world, and every time you die, you learn a useful skill that helps you survive just a little bit longer the next time when you respawn. Eventually, after exploring and adventuring about, you learn what you need to do to survive, and that's when the game's hook finally hooks you. Every hike, every cave, every dino tamed, every second you spend with a buddy exploring is a story and adventure of its own. And that's where this game excels incredibly. So to sum up the story and the purpose, the good, the sense of discovery, every hike and cave and whatever you can think of is a journey in itself and can be a story in itself if you have an imagination. The time with friends you spend, the sense of satisfaction of when you finally tame a big dino that has been destroying you for, if you play legitimately, weeks on end, like a T-Rex. The satisfaction you get from beating those or taming them is amazing. Now the bad, there's no tutorial, there's no direction, and the story is hidden. So you have to go out of your way to learn this game or look online. So if you're one of those people that needs hand-holding, this game is probably not for you. In this department, based off of all the stuff you can do and the heavy purpose and all the little stories that you can come up with just by having fun exploring and catching dinos and, well, going in caves and whatnot, I give this part of the game a 1.5 out of 2. Now, on to music and sound. The game has excellent sound for the world immersion and sound effects. Walking in a dense forest only to hear the thud stomps of a Carno running at you full speed still freaks me out to this day. Music doesn't play unless you're in the danger zone or fighting a boss or on the main menu, but when it does play, the music is amazing and captures the essence of the game masterfully. And the artist's name of the music is Gareth Coker, I believe I'm saying that right. Great artist, musician, artist, whatever you want to call it. He also does the music for the Minecraft games, and I believe he did the music for Ori and the Blind Forest. So this guy knows his stuff. He's really good. So to sum up the music and sound, the good, I would say everything. The bad, no playlist option to play the epic music that this guy made for this game. You should be able to have like a playlist that's playing in the background while you're exploring. But then it kind of takes away the immersion, I guess. But it would still be a nice thing to have. So 2 out of 2 for this section of the game, I'd give it. Because the music and sound effects fit the game perfectly. Now, on to bugs and performance. Okay, so this game has terrible bugs since day one. In fact, all of their games, all of Wildcard's games, have had terrible game-breaking bugs since, I don't know, however long they've been around. Like Atlas, Pixark, what was the other game they had? I think it's like Dark Abyss or something. It's another like building game, but that game, they abandoned that one. All their games have game-breaking bugs because they always try to cram too much content in before finishing what's there. So that's why we have 9 maps, and the game is still kind of wishy-washy in some parts of the game. However, that being said, 5 years after its launch, it finally feels like it works well enough for the most part. Every time they add a new map or feature, with the exception of the new Crystal Isles map, they break something that takes weeks, sometimes months, to fix on console. PC usually gets fixed quickly because it has no approval system that holds it up like on console. For example, when Genesis launched on console, it broke half the game and made it unplayable. It took over 3 months for them to fix it. If you have a Pro or an X, this game runs pretty darn well. Not perfect, but pretty darn well. And it has very little to no lag while playing on the X or Pro. But unfortunately, just like the regular PlayStation 4 or the regular Xbox, it has lots of pop-in. So when you're exploring the world, if you're going too fast with high stats, a lot of the trees and stuff will pop in, which will cause somewhat lag and performance issues. But other than that, on the most part, since this game is launched, it runs way better than it did than when it first started. So, to sum up, the good runs well if you've got a powerhouse PC or PlayStation 4 Pro or an Xbox Series X. The bad, lots of the bugs come and go with every update, long wait for fixes, nukes PC if your settings are not set just right for your PC's power and settings that it can handle. So in this section, I would give it a 1 because it works now, for the most part, out of 2. And then my final thoughts on the game. Ark has come a long way since its early access days, with 9 giant maps, over 100 dinos to tame and discover, hidden explorer notes to find across 5 official maps, PvP, PvE, online play, and more to come. There is no shortage of stuff to keep you busy and having fun. And at the time of this review, this game is my favorite PS4 game. You have a complete control over all the settings, the cheats, and however you want to play the game, you can control it. Most games nowadays don't do that. You can tame creatures like Pokemon, you can collect dinosaurs, you can build bases to your heart's content, you can play with your friends, you can play PvP and kill each other, be a despicable human being if you want to other people. The possibilities and replay value in this game are pretty much endless. So overall, based off each section of the game, each section has a possible of 2 points. So there's 5 different sections. So I give this game, based off of what I gave each section, a 7 out of 10. Thanks for watching my video. This is my first review. I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you have any thoughts to help me improve this, because this is my first time doing this, leave some comments down below. Please subscribe if you like my channel. And stay frosty. Thanks for watching.